This weekend, a new war film, appropriately titled Warfare, from Alex Garland drops in theaters. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Share your thoughts on Warfare. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? If you haven't, are you excited to see it? Also, you may have noticed I'm not in my normal shooting location. I'm actually in LA currently, getting ready to do the press junket for the movie Drop that also drops this weekend, and so needed to get a little bit of work done while I wait for my interview time slot. So thought I'd shoot this video real quick. Now, to understand the movie Warfare, you kind of have to know the backstory about where the film came from. It's co-written and directed by Alex Garland, who did last year's Civil War, as well as Ex Machina, and a number of other films, as well as writing 28 Days Later. And it is co-directed with Ray Mendoza, who was basically the wartime coordinator for the movie Civil War last year. His role was to help bring the authenticity to the war sequences in that film. And at the end of the movie Civil War, there's essentially a sequence that plays in real time with no fancy cinematic tricks. It's as much as possible to feel documentary style, real time. You are present in the moment as the sequence is taking place. And after directing that sequence, Alex Garland thought, is there a way to do a whole movie in this style? And the thing about Ray Mendoza is that he was an Iraq war vet. That's why he was the consultant on Civil War. So Alex went to Ray Mendoza and basically said, is there a story from your time at war that you think would lend itself to being translated into this format as a picture in and of itself? And he had one specific story that came to mind that was a real day in his life that he wanted to capture in the cinematic format. And that's where this movie came from. At the beginning, it doesn't say that it's inspired by real life events or based on real life events. It uses the word memories, from memories. I was lucky enough to be at an IMAX screening of the film where both Alex and Ray were in attendance, and what they said was everything in the movie had to be based off of a memory. Alex Garland, he was not allowed to add or subtract anything from the movie. They tried to use as few fancy cinematic tricks. There's as little music as is possible. They wanted to capture this day that took place. And it's not this extraordinarily fancy story. There weren't a bunch of articles written about it. It's just capturing a day in warfare as authentically as they could without imposing an agenda, a message, romanticizing it, anything like that. Just this is what warfare is actually like for the people in the midst of it. With that said, let's get started with our review. And I'll just cut right to the chase on this one. I thought that this was a great, unique cinematic experience that captures warfare, true to its name, in such an authentic way from the very beginning. The opening sequence of it, that's kind of a prologue to them going off on the mission, just kind of shows us what it's like right before a mission. And it's simple, it's fun, it's silly, it's immature. It got a song stuck in my head, but it just feels like just so normal and ordinary. Right before these guys step into the most extreme of circumstances that you can be put into. And all throughout the film, the level of specificity in each sequence just makes it seem so lived in and real. Their objective of trying to capture the memories of all the people that were on this mission and capture what that day was like, you really feel it as a person will walk into a room and they'll just kind of walk over and they'll run their finger over a windowsill and they'll be like, stacks of dust there. And it doesn't have some grander significance. It just captures something just so tactile that this person remembered from that day that there was dust everywhere. And the whole movie has those small little things. As a person is there, what they heard, what they felt, the whole movie is designed to make you experience the smallest little details. And adding to that, it plays, once the mission kicks in, it essentially plays in real time. And so you just feel all of the urgency as things take place. That if they say it's going to take 5 minutes, you're going, oh, I can hear the bullets flying, and I saw a person walk by, and you're just sitting there waiting for 5 minutes while they're waiting. You're in the midst of it. And if there was a person injured, and there's a lot of very injured people in this movie, you're sitting there while they're screaming in the background for 5 minutes. You're just present in that moment while they're waiting for whatever medical supplies they need. And it creates such an immersive experience that, like I said, it strips away all of the normal cinematic trickery that films use, whether using a score to tell you what to feel or use of kind of flashy editing to make it more exciting. It's meant to put you right there with the people. And it does such a great job at doing that. Now, if you look at the cast of the movie, there's a bunch of familiar faces that are these up-and-comers of the last several years. Joseph Quinn is in there. And they're all great in the movie, but the thing you have to keep in mind, this is not a character-based movie. This is not even really a plot-based movie. It's a circumstance-based movie. So you're kind of watching them just play very real. It's not like they have a big character arc. They're just, you're watching a person kind of be lighthearted, and then as they realize, oh, this is getting bad. Oh, this is getting bad. And then getting into desperation. Some of them, like the person kind of fails, or other people are injured. And so if you're going into it looking for like what you love one of the actors in this, just know they're very grounded circumstance type performances, not a big, flashy, memorable character. That's the inherent nature of the film, though. It's a circumstance. We're dropped into 90 minutes of hell in these guys' lives. Other kind of things I liked about it is because it's so designed to capture what really happened, the military tactics. They're not designed to be the cool, flashy version of it that looks great on camera. It's the version that you go, this is what they really do. This is how this stuff really plays out. And so even there's like a sniper element at the beginning, and just kind of watching how a sniper's job is really boring most of the time. He's just writing notes. And it was interesting. It's something that it made you think that's boring, but in a way that made you go, oh, this is really interesting. I want to learn more about this. Or when they're in this house, like so much of it is them in this one house trying to get to safety. And the simplest little details of how do they actually cover each other to go from here to here? What does that look like for them? Even the simple dangers of trying to rescue someone, save someone, pull someone out. What tactics did they actually use? What medical gear? It was just because it was so real and not the Hollywoodized version. It was interesting in a new way. Trying to think other things that, like I said, it's not like a story movie that you unpack like, wow, the incredible storytelling here, man, the character work. It's not that kind of movie. And I think for that reason, like some people might go into it, and if you're looking for like the big emotional swells of a Saving Private Ryan or something like that, that's not what this is. And like at the beginning, you might think, well, this is a little bit dull. And I would totally understand if someone felt that way. Or you might feel like, man, I wish that they got into the action a little bit more, showed it a little bit more. Once again, that's not what this movie is. And you'll be watching it and you'll be very frustrated because you're thinking you don't really like what our main soldiers are doing. They're in this place, stepping in on a mission, doing things, and you go, I'm uncomfortable with this. And you're supposed to be. The movie doesn't take a stance on what they're doing. The movie doesn't take a stance on the mission. The movie doesn't take a stance on the war, Iraq war in general. It just shows you what was. And it's uncomfortable. And you can see what Alex Garland has been somewhat interested in doing with both of these movies, which isn't telling the audience what to think or feel. It's playing out circumstances. With Civil War, it was a concocted scenario, and you could read into it what you wanted. And this one is a real life event. One totally fantasy, one a day that happened where some of these real people died and some of these real people were seriously injured. But in each of them, the movie is designed to show something, but not tell you what to feel about it, not tell you how to interpret it. And you can take away what you want. I wasn't a fan of Annihilation. Somehow I've never actually seen Ex Machina, but didn't really like Annihilation. I skipped Men because it seemed like it very much wouldn't be for me. Both of these movies, I really like what Alex Garland is up to in creating circumstances where you decide what you feel about it, what you're taking away from it. So I thought that this was just a great cinematic experience, something different, something taking a familiar genre that we've seen countless movies from and bringing an authenticity and truth to it and specificity to it that we haven't often seen. So for me, this might be my favorite movie of the year thus far. I'm not positive on that, but certainly this will be way up there on my list at the end of the year because I just thought it was such a distinct, unique film that I haven't seen one like this. And it used film in a new way to tackle something familiar and with a new angle. And that's what I want more of. So thank you, Alex Garland and Ray, for bringing this film to life. And thank you, A24, for actually funding it and allowing them to make this movie. Overall, it's an A on the entertainment scale, 8.5 out of 10. And if you like war movies, it's a must-see movie. Beyond just the fact that I thought that it was really good, it is something new, original, different. And in a climate where there's so many sequels, adaptations, go support this movie so we get more movies like this that have a unique, original, creative vision. And thank you so much for watching.